Hi, this is Anthony Taggart from theswingengineer.com. This is the fifth and final video in my series explaining the power accumulators. The fourth power accumulator is closely related to the first. They both move the primary lever assembly, and between them they make up the triangle assembly. The first accumulator is one side, the distance between the right shoulder and the hands, and the fourth accumulator is made up of the remaining two sides, the straight left arm and a line drawn between the shoulders. When we move the left arm across the body, we decrease the angle between these two lines and accumulate power. Moving the left arm away from the body releases that power. The inline condition this accumulator seeks is one you'll never achieve unless you're playing with one arm only. It's where the left arm and shoulders form a straight line. Long before you can reach this alignment, the right arm acts as a check rein and prevents the left arm from moving too far away from the body. So once the right arm is fully straightened, the straight left arm can no longer move away from the body and the fourth accumulator is spent. Now you may be wondering, what's the difference between the first and fourth accumulators, when they both seem to be doing the same thing? Moving the left arm across the body will cause the right arm to bend, and bending the right arm will cause the left arm to move across the body. The difference is in how they release their power. As you know, the first accumulator is muscle power. It's the right arm pushing the left arm away. The fourth accumulator doesn't rely on the right arm at all. Instead, it's the rotating body pushing the primary lever assembly during the downswing and through impact. This is why Mr. Kelly called this radius power. It's harnessing the body's circular motion to move the left arm and club. The pressure point for this accumulator is anywhere the left arm touches the body. And given the left arm moves across the body and also up and down during the swing, this means the pressure point will move. But generally speaking, it will be around the left pectoral area. So now, having watched all 5 videos in this series, you should have a much better understanding of the power accumulators. But before we finish, there's a few more important points to cover. Firstly, which power accumulators do you think you are using? If you were to take a look at your swing, or indeed anyone's, you'll probably be able to point out the bending right arm, the cocked left wrist, the left arm rotated and moved across the chest. In that case, you must be using all of them, right? No, that's not often the case. As Mr. Kelly explains, it may appear that some of the accumulators emitted from some combinations are still actually present in the action, but their participation is negligible, incidental, or minimal, or their presence may be simply improper execution. In other words, just because you see an accumulator moving during a swing, it doesn't mean the golfer is actively using it. It may be an incidental motion. Just as releasing the fourth accumulator will naturally cause the right arm to straighten, even when there's no muscular effort from the right arm. But let's assume you are using all 4 accumulators. Does it matter in which order you accumulate them? No, not really. In fact, you don't even have to accumulate them on the backswing. A popular method of using the second accumulator is to cock the left wrist during the downswing. This helps prevent clubhead throwaway and keeps your swing radius short during the start down. So there's a lot of freedom when it comes to accumulating power, but not when it comes to releasing it. This is why when you compare touring pro swings, their backswings may look very different from each other, but their downswings don't. You must release the power accumulators in a strict order. If you don't follow this sequence, you'll be throwing away power and precision. You must release them as 4, 1, 2, 3. So in other words, at the start of the downswing, you must begin by using the pivoting motion of your body before using the muscular push of the right arm. After you've begun pushing with the right arm, you can then uncock the left wrist before finally rotating the left arm. Even though this release sequence is a mandatory order, when you release your accumulators is up to you. You may start the release sequence early, from the top of the backswing, or hold off until you're closer to impact. There are only a couple of things to be mindful of. Firstly, you don't want any of the accumulators to be completely released before impact. They should still be releasing when you hit the ball. So if at impact your right arm's already fully straightened or the left wrist is fully uncocked, that's no good. You've wasted your accumulated power. On the other hand, you don't want to delay release for too long. Otherwise you'll run out of downswing before you can reach maximum power. You can also choose when each individual accumulator releases, so you may want to start releasing them close together, or space them out so each accumulator has time to build on the momentum of the previous one. As Mr. Kelly tells us, increase overlap to increase thrust, decrease overlap to increase velocity. So that concludes my beginner's guide to power accumulators. I hope you found it interesting and it's given you something to think about next time you're practicing. But until then, if you'd like to learn more about the golfing machine and its concepts, visit my website at theswingengineer.com.